Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a follow-up video from my previous one that I recorded yesterday after going through another pop now drop, which again happened around 5:32 p.m. for Havasids and Macrons. Unfortunately, there was no drop for Big Into Energy. I mainly focused on the Macrons this time around. I completely just ignored the Havasids because I've been kind of focusing on them the past few days, and I haven't been able to get any macarons. I have plenty of Havasids, so I wanted to focus on those for today. Um, but what I noticed for the macarons was that they released a ton today. I would say about 2,000, maybe. I'm sorry, I didn't keep track, but the last box set number is 4254. If you go to the previous video, towards the beginning, and take the initial box set number that we had and subtract the difference, and it should give you the total amount of boxes that were released today. As far as I know, this is the last one that was released today. If you don't have this information, let's say for tomorrow or whatever, you can just go into that Reddit chat and then you can ask this information and someone will tell you. Just inquire about, hey, what was the latest box set number that was released for Pop Now, for Have a Seat, Begin to Energy, whatever. Someone should tell you after asking a couple of times. And again, you need to take note of that number. The important the importance of it is that, for example, if this was correct, right? So if 4254 was the last box set number that was released, um, the next release that happens, you're guaranteed the next number will be 4255, which really isn't too important. Um, I would take the last box set number and add maybe 300 to it. So instead of 4254, um, it'll be 4554 or whatever it is. Um, if you're not trying to get more than a handful of these or more than a set, I would just take that route. Just take the last box set number and add 300 or add 500, whatever it is, right? And add it to your link, generate your link based on that information, and then just keep refreshing it every, I would say every 20 seconds or so. You don't want to refresh it too early. You'll get restricted, and then they'll block you for, I would say, at least 30 minutes or maybe an hour, and that goes your day. So take the last box set number, generate the link, add about 300, 400, and generate the link, and refresh when the drop happens, refresh every 20 seconds. If it gives you an error saying it's sold out or doesn't exist, and it redirects you to a different box set number, that means the release hasn't happened, or they've only, for example, you added 300, right? Maybe they've only released 200, so they haven't, that batch that your box set number is in hasn't released yet. So you have to wait for that next batch or that next wave of release to happen. And when it happens, you'll land on a box that exists, and hopefully no one has that same number. Um, I think that's the best way to at least get one or a handful. You also want to avoid round numbers. By that I mean avoid 4290, avoid 4300, or just round numbers. Try to make, that's why I increment by 7, um, so that it's 60, maybe 4367, 48, 4381, something like that. So something that's not guessed so easily, something that isn't picked as easily. Basically, want one that's less popular, to avoid other people having that same box set that you're in, and when the drop does happen, there's more than one of you guys fighting over the same one. Also, in the spreadsheet, which again you can generate yourself, I have about, well, this one has a lot, but this is about 40 rows, and I'm skipping every 7. So if this was the initial box number for today's release, you go all the way from 4255 all the way to 4552. I mean 4542. Um, that's about 300 boxes, which I think is a good spread. By that I mean, if I were to do this, I would click on, let's say, I would add maybe 90, 4255, maybe 42, maybe 4354 in that range. So I get a link towards the end of the first 100, maybe somewhere in the middle and somewhere towards the end. I open those three. Again, be careful. Don't open more than three. Or you can, but I try to play it safe. It's more important for me to play it safe. So I open about three links from the begin towards the beginning, middle, and end, and see how those behave. By behave, I mean, do they load? If they load, that means, and they're empty, that means you've missed it, right? Not missed it, but you should move on to the next set of 300 or whatever it is, right? Because if, for example, I load this last one and it exists and is already taken, then you got to reset this number now from 4254 to 4542 and do the exact same thing. But now you're playing catch up, right? So now you're playing catch up. So you don't want to be doing that, which is why I'm saying in the beginning is as soon as the drop happens, if you know the last number, box set number from the previous drop, just add 300, add 400, add 500 to it, and wait for the batch to come to you instead of chasing it. I think that's where most people get caught up is that you're trying to catch up to the release, and by that time, people are picking them off. So you want to be in front of it. And one more thing is, it looks like so I'm gonna go to the pop now for have a seat. It looks like there's one box that's available. Well, there's two boxes now that are available. Um, these are probably just being held by a bot that keeps resetting the timer by moving it to the checkout flow and back out. Um, so someone asked for an explanation, kind of a live demo while the drop is happening. So this is kind of what you would see, right? So um, you would see these. You would be clicking on these, but right now I think there's only two left, two boxes left, or two sets left, and the reason why these are still showing is because they haven't been checked out, meaning they're reserved. They're in someone's cart. Someone's resetting the timer, but they officially haven't been checked out. If they do check out, then these two or one of them would go away until both are gone, and therefore the pop now drop is done. But the fact that they haven't completely checked out, they're still technically available. If for whatever reason the bot or whoever's holding these two or three boxes between the two sets lets the timer run out, they're up for selection and for checkout for other people. But I doubt that's going to happen. We're going to use this to help explain some things. So again, I didn't focus on have seats today. I don't know what the last number is. I'm sure I can ask someone in the chat and someone will give it to me. But what I'm saying is that I believe actually this is the last box set from today's release. I might have updated that correctly. At the end of the day or at the end of the drop, I asked someone or someone mentioned it. But if we were to try, let's say for example, 7720, right? If I put 7720 here, it'll tell me sold out, choose another set, and it redirects you to an existing box set number that exists. So instead of 7720, it's one of the two box sets that are still active, which is 7592. And again, if I press next, it's 5952. But that's how you can tell that this box number has not been released yet, because it keeps redirecting you to a box set that actually exists. Let's do it again. Let's wait for that message. It says this series doesn't support the hint card. I think that's the correct error. That means that the box set does not exist yet. So again, when I mean you want to get ahead of the release or the waves or the batches or whatever, pick a number, a box set that's way out in the future, right? So for example, if the last box set number was 7698, let's add 400 to it. So then that'll be whatever that is, right? So it'd be 8098, I guess, or whatever it is. You wanna be ahead of it, put it in here, enter, and if it says that, like the series does not support hint card or whatever it is, and this sold out, and it doesn't, if this number does not match that number, it means that box set number does not exist. If you generate the link correctly, it means you're ahead of the current release. You just need to wait to refresh every 20 seconds, wait for it to come out. I would actually advise to pick a couple, maybe, you know, with 200 or 300 sets apart. Oh, open up a second tab, um, put them both in here, whatever, I'm making this up, but put them both in here and refresh them. Refresh one 20 seconds, wait 20 seconds, refresh the other one. Um, just in case the first one has already been released and people already selected them, checked them out. Your second one should be 200 or 300 ahead, and hopefully no one has gone that far out yet to select those boxes or that entire set. Um, I think that is it. And yeah, if you found this helpful, share the link and like and subscribe if you like. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.